Welcome to your Evangeline Parish Public Library. Come on in. When you first enter the library, you get this wonderful opportunity to embrace the open space that houses not only books, but videos, DVD format, computers, audiobooks, reference books, pleasure books. Of course, we have a beautiful circulation area. We can handle large crowds. We have 3 stations that can take care of summer reading. Note that beautiful picture hanging at the entrance of the circulation area. It was done by Kathy Ashlock. That's where we came from, the old library. And then, you know, I love making a big deal out of the wonderful computer carols. There are 10 of them that were, this whole unit was donated by a beautiful grant from the Cabot Foundation. They've been big supporters. So in addition to the carol for all of our computer access for our patrons, they also supplied us with 10 portable laptops that are for use in the library by patrons. And that's wonderful. Now this is the children's room, and of special note in this room in particular is, number one, it's soundproofed. It was built to expand, you know, in the future. But this wonderful, marvelous chair was donated by the family of Mr. and Mrs. Russell Manuel. It's Mr. Russell and Ms. Dean Manuel. So the Manuel family, look how beautiful this is. Check out the Gulliver's Travels. That's just a very cool chair. And then Miss Maddie Buller and her grandchildren took the time in celebration of our new library to put together this terrific sampler. It's called a reading quilt. And we really, really appreciate that. So, you know, the funding for a lot of the nice little additional elements that the library offers came from a lot of support from our patrons, and also, of course, from our Friends of the Library group. You might notice how cool that when we chose furniture, because we got tremendous donations for furniture, we chose furniture that not only would be lasting, but totally pleasing to the eye, so that the kids, you know, would feel that that little bit of Evangeline Parish nature is a part of this room. So let me take you to the teen area. This is a tween, so this would be the kids between like 8 and 14. Once again, I have to show off these wonderful benches that were donated by the DeVille family. That would be Mr. Lionel DeVille's family. Mr. Lionel was the first president of the Board of Control, and he dedicated the library when it located at the old post office on Main Street, where it was domiciled for 40 plus years before we built this one. But this is a beautiful area for tweens, and then you enter the teen zone. It's small, but it's intimate. It's a place where we hope to encourage kids to play games, you know, mind games, checkers, trying to make it interesting for them. We repurpose books by design. It's a nice little snuggy spot. Okay, this is our new genealogy room. Once again, it's soundproofed, which is awesome. And it is, we're positioning ourselves to bring in a brand new, I'm going to say the 22nd century type of microfilm reader, because we have newspapers that date back to the 1800s. And of course, as microfilm ages, it's harder and harder to read. So we've invested, with the help of the Genealogy group, the Genealogy, Evangeline Genealogy and Historical Group, we now have a state-of-the-art microfiche reader printer. So come on in and check it out. This is our director, Mary Foster Galasso, who will give you a little more info.
We're working here in the genealogy room today. We're setting up the Scan Pro 3000, which is a special digital microfilm reader. We have an IT guy working with the company CF Briggs that we're buying the unit from, and this will make it much better for people doing microfilm searches. They'll be able to do a lot more with the new unit. It'll also make the microfilm much improved. In other words, you'll be able to get a much nicer image from the microfilm, even if the microfilm is old and faded. We have microfilms of the Ville Platte Gazette and of some of the other newspapers here in this parish. And we also have a lot of books related to our genealogy collection for Evangeline Parish, and it's good to have you here. We have an archive in the back. Over here is where we're setting up the computer area.
And genealogists really do get lost in here. And Alan is one of the youth opportunity workers this summer. YOU, but it's called, Youth on the Move. And he's been assigned to the library for another week or so. He's been with us all June, another week or so. And then he helps us with not only keeping the books on the shelf by reshelving, he also designs flyers for us. He set up special displays in for Father's Day, 4th of July. He assists with the program setups. He's learned a lot. He's learned he's learned that when a book comes in, somebody has got to open it up and jacket it and catalog it. And so he's learned the process. This is called the wave ceiling. Well, it functions acoustically to diffuse to absorb some of the sound, but it's also aesthetically, it makes you feel like you've got more space, I think, than you do. We are not just about local and parish or state newspapers, but we provide resources that are in newspapers that cover the nation. And I want you to notice the fleur-de-lis. We did try to keep that French flavor, that little French flair going. So all of our big chairs have the fleur-de-lis pattern. And oh look, we have someone that is enjoying our Barnes & Noble's feel. Y'all might remember Miss Julia Fontenot. Miss Julia?
Good morning. So good to be back in Ville Platte and enjoying the new library.
How do you like the big cozy chairs?
Love the big cozy chairs. And you can look out and see what's going on in town. Enjoy the pretty courtyard.
Miss Julia, I'd like the public to know how long you've been associated with the library and the big difference you see between that old post office building and this one.
That's right. But when I first came to Ville Platte over 40 years ago, the library was in a little wooden building on one of the side streets, and then it moved to the old post office on Main Street, and we were there, and it was nice. But over the years, with the technology that we needed to implement, the building was not really built for that sort of thing, and it had a basement, and we had all kind of problems. So as we planned this library, we had lots of ideas about how to incorporate all the modern things that the kids would need as they grew, and of course we wanted beautiful books and an atmosphere, but we had to take in mind that there's technology. So our library is such a lovely addition to Ville Platte, and I'm so proud to have been associated with it. I don't even remember how many years. I was on the board 10 or so, and was the president for 4 or 5 years. So it was a joy and a pleasure, and it was my one regret sort of when I left that the building was not completed, but I came back for the grand opening.
You did indeed. And just in my opinion, this is the one big wall that makes all the difference in the world, because my sense of the old building was that dark,
Absolutely.
it was just dark.
Right.
There were windows, but this is gorgeous. It kind of gives you that Frank Lloyd Wright feel.
Right.
So this is all pleasure reading. This is all, either westerns, nonfiction. It's so important to, we try to identify our books by genre as much as possible so that people can easily find fun books. This is all paperbacks. Let's see, every now and then you'll get one about a local author. So we do identify those. We give acknowledgement where acknowledgement is due. And then you enter our beautiful Friends of the Library area. So these are all books that have been either taken out of circulation because they have had their day, or they haven't circulated enough, or they've been donated to us. And with the revenue that comes from the sale of these books, and they're very affordable, the hard copies are 50 cents and the paperbacks are 10 cents, that money goes back into the library for programming. These are all our new books, so anything that's new we make a big deal out of and we feature at the entrance so that people can be sure to check it out. And those new books are identified because of all these little red dots. So we also have a process of removing those after they've been out for a while. So you're going to enter our multi-purpose room. Open to the public. It's designated as a quiet reading room, but it is available for any of our public meetings. That would be for entertainment purposes or educational purposes. So in this multi-purpose room, we conduct a number of library-sponsored events, and we also do community events that promote public awareness about programs or new services available. For example, we've hosted Faith House and Hospice of Acadiana. We've hosted, we have a book club, a library-sponsored book club. We have our summer reading entertainment that it's going to happen in this room. We do crafting, so you might make note of the repurposing of books. We have one on display. This was done by the staff to give our director one day. And the chair at the entrance was one we put together for the grand opening, just to show folks that you just don't throw books away. If they're unusable because they were wet or damaged, take the guts out, use the spines, decorate with books. And of course, this paper folding is just beautiful. This is something when we started really looking at the number of books, like this book had not circulated in about 5 years. Nobody checked it out. So we pulled it off the shelf, and when I discovered the beautiful, artwork that was on the interior covers, I said, whoa, this is a good candidate for paper folding or repurposing. And the beauty of repurposing is that everything can be unfolded. If anybody ever wanted to read the book and read. Isn't that clever? I think it's clever. Anyway, so it adds a little artistic feature, and it shows how broad the use of books is. And I love what he says. Lionel B. DeVille, former Evangeline Parish Library Board of Control President, in the words of our dad, this comes from his kids, the greatest tribute a community can pay its people is to provide a library for lifelong learning. Now that's beautiful.